Hello, everybody. My name's Sam, and I am starting a YouTube channel. This is my first ever actual video, so I'm sorry if the resources aren't the best. No, I don't look as professional as an actual podcast, but I've been feeling like I need to get a lot of stuff off my chest, and sometimes I don't really know where to talk or what spaces to be in. So I decided, well, why not just talk into a camera? Um, Talk about my experiences with love, my experiences with dating, reactions to a few videos which I think are beneficial, but at the same time I don't think give the best advice, and I just want to just do a little reaction to it, what I think, what I don't think, yada yada yada. A little bit of context. I don't consider myself a very good looking, high value male. I consider myself just a regular average Joe, like most of you watching. um, I'm 34 now, and I've had two serious-ish relationships, both which didn't even last for 2 years. So I'm very unexperienced in the whole dating game. I, I've been single for about 3-4 years. I think almost 4 years now. So I consider myself chronically single. Um, I don't really have a lot of flings. I don't have a lot of, go-tos. I'm pretty alone. I'm pretty lonely, and I just wanted to share that experience with others. Maybe some people feel the same as me. Maybe they don't. I don't earn a lot of money in this world. I'm a registered nurse, so take that as you will. We earn okay, enough to support a single person, I feel, but definitely not enough to where I can, be high status, have lots of girls. Um, I'm not the most. I'm in okay shape right now. I've been working out a lot. I'm trying to take care of my body and my health. Um, but recently I moved to a new city, Austin, Texas, and never in my life have I felt more lonely as I do now. I The only joy really I'm getting recently is just being around my two dogs and watching different animes, different shows, playing some video games with the boys, spending time at the gym. I don't really meet a lot of people through my work, considering it's a job where I'm basically working alone. That's like the downside to what I do. But I've been watching a few videos online, and there's one person I really admire. His name is Williamson. Um, I find it weird that someone like him can talk about uh, men's problems and dating, because when you look at that guy, he's basically an alpha male. He's extremely good looking. He's muscular. He's high status, and he's definitely someone that I would never imagine to have any problems dating, just because of high status he is. This guy seems like he could probably get any girl he absolutely wants. But he recently did a podcast 5 months ago with this dating coach called Blaine Anderson. Albeit she has some pretty good information. She does talk about a few good things, but at the same time, I think a lot of her views are from a woman and not from just a regular guy like us. I've background for her. I know she's married to like a multimillionaire tech entrepreneur, super high status, probably super good looking, just typical high status male. Well, of course she's gonna be married to someone like that. So I don't know where she gets off really giving like the best advice, even though she's a coach. But there's a few parts of this video I wanted to touch on and react to it, share my thoughts and my feelings with it. More context. I've tried dating apps. They fucking suck. I swipe right for months on end, and I get 0 matches. Hi girls. 0. That in itself makes me feel the most lonely, most rejected, most miserable I've ever been in my entire life. Being in a new city, not that many friends, no actual social group, spend a lot of time alone at home. I just feel lost. Some of these videos have helped me out. Some of them have made me feel kind of dejected. I genuinely think that I'm one of those guys that's going to just end up single forever. I try to wrap my mind around it, and it's very tough considering, you know, being raised as a kid, I'm always told that one day I'm going to have kids of my own. One day I'm going to have a wife. One day I'm going to be X, Y, and Z. I'm being told that over and over again by my parents. And then when adulthood finally happened and, you know, life comes at you, it hasn't happened yet. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm constantly surrounded by people, friends, co-workers, that they're all happily married, they've got girlfriends, I'll see my girl later, oh, my wife, my fiance, my this, my that. Like, Sammy, why are you single? I don't know. I've tried. I've been on one date in the last year. I've tried to go on dates, they didn't work. 2 dates, actually. One date just didn't work out, we were just 2 completely different people. And that's okay, that happens. Second date, I generally thought we had a very strong vibe, holding hands, cuddling. So when I finally asked, you know, up front, did you want to make it a little bit more serious? It was a straight no. And that hurt. That left me in a really, really dark hole. I'm not one to take rejection very well. I understand it's a numbers game. Oh, one day you'll find it. Oh, you just got to put yourself out there. I don't know where to put myself. You know, they say put yourself out there. I don't know what to do. I go to the gym. You know, one of the biggest things as a man is you don't hit on girls at the gym. That's supposed to be their safe zone. It's kind of awkward considering they got their headphones in. It's like, hey, excuse me. Yeah! You know, never mind. You know, with some other, they're probably dating someone, realistically. Go to the grocery store, hit on girls there. No, I don't feel comfortable doing that. A bar, it's loud, can't really talk. A nightclub, yeah. So maybe I've been thinking, maybe I'll just do like some extracurricular activities where I think girls will be. Maybe dance. Something like salsa, you know, or some other form of dancing that I might find interesting. I do think salsa is a really cool little way to dance, and that would be interesting to learn how to do, actually. And I'm pretty sure you can meet women there. But I'm a big Arsenal Football Club fan. One of my friends has told me to start going to an Arsenal bar regularly. Meet some friends there, make some connections. Maybe there's a lady there. Who knows? So I'm trying to challenge myself to do all these kinds of things, and I'm trying to challenge myself to put myself out there. I just find it very difficult. You know, I don't earn a lot of money, so I can't really, you know, spend or keep going out and doing all these fun things, which obviously cost money. You know, and I work for a living. Of course, I have to take care of myself. So financially. So I made this YouTube channel to kind of go over and talk about my experiences, you know, what I think about like love life, what I think about the game of love. Hopefully there are other men out there who chronically single like me, you know, that maybe we can all share our experiences together and we can create a community to help better our health if we are going to end up being alone. So this video is by like I said, Chris Williamson, who I really do admire. I wish I was like this, honestly. I wish I was as alpha as this guy. And he's talking to Blaine Anderson, who obviously super beautiful woman on the right hand side. Obviously she's a high status female, so she can only go for high status males. So kudos to your husband. What a lucky man. And they're talking about how to approach women without feeling awkward. So there's a few points, there's a few little segments. This is a 2-hour podcast, but there's a few segments of this I really wanted to go over and just touch base with. And the first one is, how common is the male approach anxiety? So let's just talk about it.
This male approach anxiety the biggest problem that guys come to you with?
It is one of them, absolutely. And it's not even necessarily that they come to me and say, hey, I have approach anxiety and I want to get over it. It's that they don't have the dating life they want, and they don't even necessarily draw the conclusion, oh, I'm not approaching anybody, when that is one of the very big problems. So I really encourage, I do this with all of my clients, and any guys out there who are listening are like, oh, I'm like not meeting women. Keep an approach journal. I challenge you, a note on your phone, a real journal, write down every time you talk to a woman. And you don't have to ask for her phone number. You shouldn't ask for her phone number or ask her out if the conversation doesn't feel like it warrants that. But just how many times you're actually talking to women, and I bet you will be shocked at how few it is.
So this is the equivalent of using MyFitnessPal to track your calories. And you're saying, dude, I promise you, I'm only eating 1,500 calories. And you say, let's track it for a week. And you go, fuck, it was 2,200.
Yes.
I'm approaching 10, 15 women a week. Oh, it was one.
Maybe. And I think part of that is because you have access to social media, to OnlyFans, and so you're seeing all of these beautiful women, and it tricks you into thinking like, surely I'm interacting with women. I see women all the time. Maybe you're even DMing some or interacting with them on OnlyFans. That doesn't count. That is not the same as walking up to a woman in the grocery store,
agree.
at a yoga class, in a...
DMing someone on Instagram, unless you're like an Instagram personality, you're super famous on Instagram and you've just got this like a mass amount of followings and super high status on Instagram, don't even bother with the females on that. And second, OnlyFans, sorry to say, if you have an OnlyFans, you're a simp. OnlyFans has ruined this world, I truly believe. And if you think you're interacting with someone on OnlyFans, 9 times out of 10 you're interacting with the guy that manages their page, and the other 10 times out of 10 is that they just want money from you. It's a lose-lose situation. They're online whores.
Park and striking up a conversation.
What is your best advice for men to overcome approach anxiety?
Yeah, so I actually have an entire mini course on this because I get so many questions about it. My biggest piece of advice is take the pressure off. So don't think like, oh, I need to approach and my goal here is to get a phone number. No, your goal is to connect with another human being. So you shouldn't just be approaching attractive women who you're interested in dating. Approach humans, people generally, women generally, of all ages.
Okay. Of all ages, I'm not going to go just start talking to random grandmas. That doesn't make sense. If I'm going to approach someone, it's going to be because I find them attractive and I want to pursue them. I don't agree with that at all.
And talk to them and get really good at that. And then once you feel comfortable with that, it will feel more natural to approach a woman who you do find attractive and have a good conversation. And then maybe you do ask for her phone number. But going from sitting on your couch and swiping to approaching at 10, that's really scary. So start small. Start with baby steps.
Charlie Houpert from Charisma on Command's got a good piece of advice where he says, flirt with the world. He uses Russell Brand as the example of this. And, Russell Brand in his Lothario era 10, 15 years ago, he's doing this interview. And what is it that someone asks him the question, I've heard that you're a sex addict. Is that right? And he says, well, I don't know if it's right, but it's definitely enjoyable. And you just think like he's always playing this sort of flirtatious game. He's touching it's Russell Brand. He also may turn out to be a sex criminal. We don't know about that. So, don't take your dating cues from Russell Brand. But
I wouldn't take my dating cues from Russell Brand because A, he's a high status male that could probably get any girl he wants. He has he's had more sex with women that I've interacted with. Literally, the guy, he's hilarious, but I do agree with that. Russell Brand's a kind of guy that like flirts with the world. He makes everything comfortable around him. He's really easy to talk to, as from what I've understood about him. But flirting with the world is a big one. You know, go about life flirting with just the world, and I do agree with that sense, because you could have a very like happy, enthusiastic attitude about a lot of things. It's probably going to make it a lot more easier. You know, I know it's really easy to think negative, and it's really hard to be positive all the time. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. But, you know, if you could be, like, happy all the time and enthusiastic, and again, flirt with the world, I really like that. I think it would help out a lot in a lot of people's lives, including myself.
The sentiment, I think, is true, which is, and I know this, you know, I'm recently single, and you go from being, you know, not at all concerned with you, the way that you come across to women, and then you start to sort of have to re-kickstart this engine of, oh God, like, okay, well, I need to actually be a little bit more playful here, as opposed to just the transactional sort of autist that you were previously.
Absolutely. I love the flirt with the world because it's so true. And we are so conditioned. Everyone is in their phone, like eyes down, looking at their phone, moving through the world with their headphones in. And you can't control if everyone else has their headphones in. That you can't control anyone else's, you know, reaction to anything. What you can control is if you're the type of person who doesn't have their headphones in, who makes eye contact, who smiles, who says hello. I was picking up pizza the other day, and I was waiting in the shop, and this guy walks in with noise canceling headphones on, like over the ear headphones, walks up to the counter, doesn't take off his headphones, and the girl's like really nice. She's this cute girl. They're roughly the same age. She's like, hey, how can I help you? And he just turns and holds his phone out at her. And she's like, oh, okay, it'll be right up. Doesn't say anything, puts it back in his pocket and turns away. And I was like, like, I don't care if you're not single. Like, who knows? Maybe he's gay. Maybe he's not interested. It doesn't matter. You are not engaging with the world around you at all.
That's also just, that comes down to common courtesy too. As a man, you should never do that. You gotta have respect for everyone around you. Even if it's as simple as going to get a pizza. You know, you could have had a really bad day, but this person gave you, according to her, like a smile, or how can I help you? Like, hi, I'm here to pick up X, Y, and Z. Interacts. You know, I do agree with that part too. You know, you can't be rude. Cannot be rude. But then again, it's probably why I'm a nice guy and women don't like me, is because I'm too polite.
It's really sad to see.
That's interesting. Okay, so reduce some of the pressure. Flirt with the world. Give me a third one. What else?
Just don't try and overcomplicate things. You don't have to have this witty, flirty line that she's never heard before. You can keep it really simple. If your mind goes blank, walk up to her and say, hey, I noticed you from over there, and I wanted to come say hello. I wanted to introduce myself. I thought you were cute. Something super simple of just, you caught my eye and I'd kick myself later if I didn't say hello. It is fine. It doesn't mean she's going to want to date you. Doesn't even mean she's going to want to talk to you. But if you do that and you have good posture and you have eye contact and you're smiling, you've put your best foot forward and you've done everything you can.
What are the other things, the nonverbals?
Oh, nonverbal is very important. So this can be our fourth thing. If you're walking up and you've already rejected yourself, your shoulders are, you know, bent in, you're looking down, looking around, you're telling her that you aren't worthy. So you need to walk up, shoulders back, eye contact. As you're walking over to her, look for eye contact. Actually, backing up from here, getting eye contact from a woman is the gold standard for before you approach. So it's not a requirement. You don't have to have made eye contact. But if you can catch her eye and give her a smile, that is a green light and
Catch the eye, smile. No, I'm just kidding. I do agree with that. I do like that. And I've tried this before. I've gone up to someone and was like, listen, I'd be proper mad at myself if I didn't go up to you and say hello. Here's my phone number. Give me a text if you're interested in getting coffee. And I'll get a text sometimes. But then when I text back, I hear nothing. Which is super weird. Like, even texting back, I remember one girl I texted back like, hey, I'm so glad to hear from you. I hope your day's been well. Let's grab a coffee at X, Y, and Z. Like, very direct, upfront, nothing. But a lot of guys, I'm one of them, so I feel this. It's so hard to go up to a girl that you find attractive and just do this. Like, sometimes for some guys, you could, honestly, it feels like the world is crumbling around you with pressure to gather the confidence and the courage to go up to someone that you find attractive and be like, hey, I saw you from across the room, I think you're super cute. You know, you could start sweating uncontrollably, and you know, you go up to her and you like, you know, your eyes are going up, down, you know, yeah, and you kind of trip up over your own words. That's really hard to achieve. I truly believe that's really hard to achieve. But if I can do it, if I can go up to someone and say these kinds of things, we all can do it. It's just what happens afterwards is where I struggle. You know, like and sometimes it takes maybe a couple drinks first, but it takes all the courage in the world to actually go up to someone and do this. It's anxiety inducing. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And for her to make it seem like it's such an easy thing to do, like, sure, if you're a 6'7", chiseled jaw and just most handsome guy in the world, you know, and you've got some status on you and you feel confident, you feel good, you know that all the ladies like you, this is probably really easy. Probably really easy. But for someone like me, who is not the best looking guy in the world, doesn't have that high of a status, not super rich, I'm just a regular guy. Just a regular Joe Schmo that doesn't even earn up to 100K a year. This is fucking terrifying. Fucking terrifying.
It's a great place to start from with your approach. So you're not totally taking her by surprise. You've done a little pre-qualifying. And likewise, if you make eye contact and she quickly looks away and turns her back to you, maybe don't approach. Like, it might not be a viable option. So that can be a good way to pre-qualify. Then when you do walk up, shoulders back, head up, smile, eye contact. It feels a little awkward. It absolutely does. And that's okay. And then, you know, speak with confidence. Don't speak too fast. Slow it down and go for it. And you're going to hear no a lot.
You mentioned a couple of opening
laughs
lines
at
there.
hearing no a
What
lot. Do you
some
know how-
canned openers that the super nervous
I don't like that she laughs that you're going to hear no a lot, because a lot of guys, including myself, I'm saying this a lot, I'm sorry, I don't take rejection very well. To me, it's like, why me? What's wrong with me? You get home and you end up looking in the mirror and you're just beating yourself up over and over again, like, why me? Why me? Why me? What's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? Am I ugly? Am I awkward? Am I not funny? All these things go through your head when it comes to rejection. And sometimes it only takes one rejection to never want to do it again. I feel that. She shouldn't laugh at that.
guy that's going to go out and try this weekend a couple of times to do this.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite opening lines?
Okay. Like I said, keep it really simple unless something comes to you that you're like, oh, this really makes sense. So first, look for a few things. What's she holding? What's she doing? What's she wearing? Any of those things can be things to comment on. Maybe she's holding a yoga mat, so you can use that as a conversation starter. Maybe she's holding a cup of coffee, or,
Hey, I see you have a yoga mat with you. Do you do yoga?
wearing some really unique Doc Martens or hat. Those are all things you can comment on. So leveraging that is one option. So you might say something like, hey, I noticed you from over there. Those are sick sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead myself. Where did you get those? Or how long have you had them? When did those drop? That's an example of using something she's holding, doing, wearing as a jumping off point. If your mind is blank, she's not holding, doing, wearing anything you can comment on, then going back to just like, hey, I saw you from over there and I wanted to come over and introduce myself. My name's Blaine. Or, hey, I saw you from over there and I thought you were really cute and I'd kick myself later if I didn't say hello. How's your night going? Simple.
What about the next step after that? Because I think that a lot of guys, even if they've got some canned openers, what she's doing, wearing, holding. If they get through that, I think how do I now exit the conversation in a non-awkward way?
Yeah.
Because, the peak end rule in psychology suggests that the most emotionally intense and the final emotional moment are the two that are the most important of any event. I wonder how many guys might actually be able to overcome their approach anxiety, but their exit pain is so high that it actually clouds their memory of the approach. It's like the approach was fine.
Yeah.
But the way that I'll go now.
Yeah.
And this sort of weird, awkward, like, I'll high five you or something. You know what I mean? Fist bump.
Yeah. So it depends on where you're meeting her, of course. So let's say you're at a bar and you go up, you use that, hey, I thought you were really cute, so I wanted to introduce myself.
Cute, pretty, beautiful. What's the word?
You can use any of those. Whatever.
There's a lot of dudes listening that are like, fucking got to get this down, like with OCD.
Whatever feels authentic to you, because what you don't want is to sound like you're using someone else's lines. That's why I'm hesitant to even say, use this verbatim.
Yep.
It's like I kind of throw out a few things and then make your own off of that and just keep it simple, because the most important thing is it sounds authentic to you and not like you're reading a script.
Just to comment on that, it's so right. I had a guy here, Hamza, about maybe 6 weeks ago, something like that. And he was talking about how he's like the epicenter of a lot of young men advice online. And he has started to ask himself the question of, why do I dress the way that I do? Why do I sit the way I do? Why do I walk the way I do? Why do I talk the way I do? Because he's absorbed so much advice online that he's trying to model himself as the super masculine alpha Chad, high value.
And that's another thing too I want to talk about. You could look online, you could do all your research for hours on end, days on end, and you end up trying to model yourself into someone that you're not. And I'll be damned if I have to change who I am, what I stand for, just to attract a female and have sex. I feel like that's the opposite of what you should really be doing. So you could, you could be the super like an initial exposure, initial encounter, you can be the super, standout guy that, believes in this and does this and talks like this, but off script, you could be like a giga nerd. You could be someone that likes to play video games with the boys or watch anime like me. And then, you end up getting to know this person, and the girl will be like, well, this isn't the guy that I thought you were, because you modeled yourself to be like this, and then I'm getting to know you, and you're turning out like this. So that there's some skewity in that. There has to be some like middle ground, let's say. You have to come across as someone that's confident and someone that's doing this kind of stuff, and someone that really like knows their shit, someone who does believe in these stuff. But then when the person gets to know you, you can't be someone that, again, initial encounter, you can't be John and then you turn into let's say Jimmy. They have to be the same person. So that's a really good point.
Your guy thing, and it's got to the point where he's got Stockholm syndrome from the stuff that he's learned. It's imbibed so much of it that he has no idea where the advice finishes and he begins.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really good point, that I think what guys want is, okay, just give me a set of rules-ish, but don't turn me into an actor.
Yeah. And that's why I say when people ask what I do, I'm teaching men to authentically market themselves. I'm not teaching them to be the cookie cutter Ken doll that a woman wants, because that's not going to work. Even if you are able to, become this persona that you think is going to attract women. And maybe it starts working at first and women are attracted to you. You're either having to hold up that persona forever and that's not your authentic self, so life is going to suck, or you slowly become yourself and then you're not the woman, you're not the person that the woman initially fell for because it wasn't really you.
Well, and third option, the women who would have genuinely liked you for being you are the ones that pass you by.
Yes, because you're not being yourself. So that's the most important thing with everything when it comes to dating. Yes, we can improve the product. Like, there are things you should do to be a better you, and we can talk more about that, because building a life that you are genuinely proud of is a very important part of being successful dating. But then you also need to be able to market that life. You need to be able to talk to women in a way that they can see that, that they see that you have a genuinely awesome life that they would want to be a part of.
That's so interesting. So I've got it in my head.
But that's hard. That's hard. You know, you have to build a life first to attract women. So kind of, I mean, I was told this a long time ago, and it still sticks with me to this day. You have to have the community, you have to have friends, and you have to have the purpose first before you even bother finding a girl. And that's the kind of where I've struggled, and only like it's come to light, you know, more recently again. Moving to a new city, I don't have that group. I don't have that social circle just yet. I don't even know where to begin. I've got absolutely no idea. Everything here and everything is new and foreign to me. Hey! Everything is new and everything is foreign to me. Sorry about that. That was my dogs. Everything's new. Everything's foreign. And I have a lot of anxiety about even going out and meeting new people. You know, I don't even know where to start. Genuinely have no idea. That's why I told myself, like I spoke earlier about this, I want to join a group. I want to join a group that does things. Be consistent going, become a regular, and maybe meet friends / potential girlfriend there one day. Even if it's something as trivial and as something that I never thought I'd do, something like dance. You know, I thought maybe, okay, that might be cool. I can go learn how to dance, and guaranteed, hopefully there's women there. And, you know, being an Arsenal fan, I want to go to an Arsenal bar, watch the games there, become a regular, maybe meet some fellow Arsenal fans and, you know, get invited out to do things, you know. So I want to be able to do these kind of things and maybe build a circle first, build a community, build some friends, and then maybe that's how it comes. Maybe I've been doing it wrong this whole time. But to even start doing that is where I'm just completely lost. Like, I don't have the money to go and do all these things too. Things are expensive, you know, so I'm just lost there. But if I can challenge myself to join a group and start going to do all these fun things, then I'm going to challenge anyone that's viewing this video to do the same thing. If you're struggling with, you know, finding people or finding relationships and friends and, you know, common ground, then I challenge everyone to join a group, because I'm going to try it, and hopefully it works out for the best.
The original world that we had when Neil Strauss, who wrote the game, came up and did Pickup, what that was exclusive marketing. And I think that much of the world of men's online dating at the moment, in the more sort of nihilistic black pill side, is exclusive lifestyle, i.e. one side said it doesn't matter what your life is, if you market yourself well, you'll be successful in dating. The current world, in some corners, says it doesn't matter what your marketing is, your lifestyle is fucked and you're never going to get a girlfriend. So I think that balancing these two, which is you need to be as authentic as possible and actually raise up you as a person to be someone that women want to date, whilst also holding in your hands, there's better and worse ways to do that. Yes,
exactly. It's the product and the marketing and how you put them together and present yourself to women. And it's even more important to be able to market yourself well today in a world with things like online dating and social media, where women's options have quadrupled, you know, or 100x'd. And so you have to be able to stand out. The challenge for men dating is, how do I stand out so women give me a shot and notice me? Okay. Where the challenge for women is, how do I...
Here's a good one. Status, physical looks, and status, looks, money. Those are the three things I feel like women are after. But I feel like status is like the biggest one, because if let's say you go out and you're the most popular guy around, everyone wants a piece of you, other people are going to want a piece of you, especially women. status plus good looks, I mean, it's just, it's just you're in a fucking swimming pool of vagina.
Tell who's actually going to be a good partner between the smoke and the noise.
In other news, this episode is brought to you by Create Creatine Gummies. You might have heard previous guests like Dr. Rhonda Patrick and Dr. Peter Attia talking about the benefits of taking...
As a man, I've done the research on this. I truly believe you should stay away from dating apps. Unless you're, again, you've got status, you're just the most handsome guy in the world, and, you've got everything, money, status, fame, good looks, you're tall, you're fucking chiseled, you're built. Unless you have that and you're in the top 5% of males in this world, don't even bother. Don't even bother. The amount of time I've spent on a dating app, I don't even get a match. And when I don't get a match, I see all these cute girls. I'm like, oh, she seems cool. We might get along. Oh, she seems this, she seems that. I swipe right, hoping one day I get a match. I check my phone when I wake up in the morning. Did I get a match? No. It hurts. Fucking hurts. It sends you spiraling even deeper than what you already were. Dating apps make me feel the most lonely I've ever felt in my entire life. It makes me feel rejected without even being rejected. So, for that, stay off dating apps. So I'm not going to talk about that. Good places to approach women. Let's take a look.
Wisdom. Okay, where should guys go to find women in person? Talked about online dating. What are your favorite spots for guys to approach women in person?
Yeah, so any place you're already spending time and your hobbies. So you're going to have way more to talk about with somebody who you meet at your pickleball league or your run group than you are at a loud nightclub or even just walking down the street. I'm not saying you can't meet women at bars and clubs and you can't approach random women on the street, but that's playing level hard. You have to find a commonality. You have to find something to talk about. Whereas if you were just pick up some hobbies and start going to them on a weekly basis, pick 3 things you want to do and try and go to them every single week. Ideally, not all hobbies are created equal. Pick hobbies that women also attend and just start talking to people. That's going to be the best way. And oftentimes what I tell my clients is you might not, okay, let's use pickleball for an example, because as you know, I love pickleball.
Yep.
Let's say you join a pickleball league. Maybe you meet a woman you're interested in dating there, but maybe not. But you might meet a friend who then invites you to his birthday party. And then at that birthday party, his roommate from college brought his sister, and that's the girl you hit it off with. And you're 1 or 2 degrees removed. So you have much more built-in trust. You have something to talk about while you're both at that party. Pickleball, your common friend. And it becomes much more easy to start a good conversation that can lead someplace.
See, that's good advice. That's good advice. I will say, it's just like I talked about earlier, going out, joining a group, and doing things. Pickleball, I find pickleball very fun. So that might be something I have to just challenge myself to go out and do. Play some pickleball. I think dancing would be a good one. I'm definitely not going to join a run group because, let's face it, I hate running. And what are you going to do? Talk to someone when you've been you run 5K. Hey! Oh, fucking covered in sweat, nasty. You're not going to go talk to a girl like that, because I'm sure girls that want to be talked to when they're sweating, nasty, everyone's looking like shit, smelling like body odor. Nah, I don't think that's one.
You're optimizing for
Could be wrong,
social
but that's not for me.
events, things that involve a little bit of interaction, like CrossFit gym.
Great.
But presumably not something that's super solo, like fucking archery or something like that.
Yeah, so I am a big fan of you spending time in any place that makes you happy. Archery might be something great to highlight in your dating app profile or talk about on dates, and that's going to be attractive to women. But you want to make sure your hobbies are not all solo hobbies that are going to be great for talking about.
I go mountaineering.
Yeah,
on
but
my
not
own.
great.
I go rock climbing on my own.
Yeah, but not great for meeting people, and you want to diversify. But rock climbing gym, great. A lot of those solo things can be turned into good places to meet people. One of my hobbies is baking bread, but
You brought bread.
I did.
Show me
I
your
did.
bread. Get your bread out
Now
for the
it's
lads.
time.
Come on.
I was going to say baking bread at home is not a good place to meet somebody, but I've been to cooking classes. Bread, like I went to a sourdough pizza making class because I like baking bread, and there was lots of single men and women there.
Okay. And what's this? What have you got me?
This is sourdough, just
Okay.
a classic homemade sourdough. I made it this morning. A little ASMR in there.
Yeah, everyone can hear it. Oh, wow. Look at that. Hold that sucker up. You're going to have to lift that up. I mean, that is fantastic. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
You are very welcome.
Jesus Christ. I could slug an infant with this. It's really, really heavy. Pop that back in there. I'm not going to leave this out for the elements to go and get. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Bread by Blaine coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay. What about guys approaching girls in the gym?
I met my husband at the gym.
I thought you went on a date, a walk.
As our first date.
Right,
We didn't
okay.
meet on a walk.
I see. Yep. Okay.
So I met him at a fitness class, like a group fitness class.
Like a Barry's
So
F45 type thing.
Barry's, yeah, exactly, in San Francisco. So you can meet women at the gym. I am proof that it is possible, but there are different considerations, and some gym environments are going to be better than others. So like a rock climbing gym, a CrossFit gym, a fitness class, these places are going to better facilitate meeting women. There's natural starting and stopping points. There's times when everyone is standing around. You can talk to her when she's not working out. Just an open gym floor like at Equinox or Lifetime where she has her headphones in is
Equinox. $250 a month. Sure. Yeah, right. I think it's very, very, very difficult to meet girls at a gym. I've never met anyone at the gym before. Most of my female friends have always told me that that's like the one place they don't want to meet men because that's their safe space. That's why they go to work out and better themselves. And they've got their headphones on, they're sweating, they're trying to get that workout in. You know, I think you, Blaine, you're probably the 1 out of 100 that met her husband at the gym. But he probably, again, I know you're dating and married to a super handsome, tall, fit, muscular millionaire. So that is just a super high status male, and you being a high status woman. That's unrealistic for so many guys. So that's bad advice.
on the treadmill is
Bad
in the
advice.
midst of a workout, not good. You would then need to wait until she's like at the water fountain or you're coming and going at the same time, which is much more just chance.
There's a lot of guys who are probably thinking, God damn it, I might need to put my bodybuilding gains to one side because my like solo neurotic heavy metal in the headphones training style of this bro gym isn't going to work. I need
Yeah.
to start doing fucking Orange Theory
Yeah.
so that I can hang around with girls as they come in and out.
Literally. And
You're gonna have to. These are the sacrifices that men have to make that women really don't understand. You know, like the patriarchy is not alive or well when you have to sacrifice gains to be able to talk to women.
But it's true. I have clients all the time who are like, "Oh, I really like my gym routine." I'm like, "Okay, well that's fine, but then you're not going to meet women there." So if you're saying you want to meet a woman who's fit, who likes to work out, you need to spend some time at these other places. And I'm not saying totally give up your own gym routine, but you might be surprised. Like every time I send a client to Pilates, they're like, "Holy shit, that was so much harder than I thought." Like I was dying.
Yeah.
And so
Solid core Rex people. They're
Yeah.
getting so popular at the moment.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's, to lean into some of the evolutionary psychology stuff, there's an idea called sex ratio hypothesis, which is whoever in a local ecology is the rarer sex has the upper hand in the mating market. So you see that in areas with a male skewed sex ratio, there are more dates before sex. Women are less likely to say that they're happy with any one man. They're less likely to commit. Men are forced to go on more dates before they can actually sort of move forward. And the reverse is true too, that if men are the scarcer sex, that there are fewer dates before sex, et cetera, et cetera. Reason being that if there are more of your particular sex competing for more of that rarer sex's attention, you need to play by their rules. And that means that if you're a dude that goes to solid core and does Pilates, between you and the gay instructor. There's like one guy that's interested in the women in this entire room, and maybe 70% of them have got a fella, and a couple of them aren't looking to date. But that's still a really strong sex ratio.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not 20-1, but it's 3-1 or 4-1. It's better than a nightclub.
Yeah, way better than a nightclub where the reverse is often true. Yeah, that's a great point, and it just makes a lot of sense. I have a client in New York who started playing Mahjong. Are you familiar with Mahjong?
Is it like a board game?
It's like with these little domino pieces. It's from China, but they have an American version. I'm actually very into it myself right now.
Okay.
But talk about a good place to meet women. He's like a Brooklyn Mahjong meetup, and he's one of 4 dudes, and there's 100 women there. And he had like 3 girls give him their number and be like, you should join our Mahjong group, like trying to get a guy in.
Wow. Well, I mean, run clubs at the moment are just
so popular right now.
The hottest thing in the world. Did you see there was a great meme that came out a couple of weeks ago that said over-sexualized run club starter pack? And it was just all of the different, it was like Ketone IQ, Element was in there, an Andrew Huberman podcast. It was really, really good. But yeah, I think, I was trying to deconstruct why I think run clubs have become so popular. And I think that a big chunk of it is that non-weird opportunity to stand around before and after and talk. Like it's like a social club masquerading as a fitness pursuit.
Yeah.
And it gives people the legitimacy to go and do something. Because if it was just, let's meet up in the park and stand around for a bit, everyone would feel weird. But if it's couched in, we're going to get our 5K in. Like, all right, fine, I guess. I mean, the 5K is 25 minutes of work?
Yeah.
It's fuck all. And then people stand around again and go, okay, well, I can get her number. And
it's amazing.
She's that chick from last week. She's got that sports bra on again.
Yeah, and you're seeing the same people consistently, which also makes it way easier. Good opener to use. I feel like I've seen you before. My name's Blaine. Yep. Like, I've seen you here before. You leverage that anytime you've seen a woman more than once as an opener. That's a great
Familiarity.
one. Yeah. But yeah, I love a run club because also you're weeding out people who don't have any interest in health. It's like-minded people are going to go to a run club.
Well, if you're up and awake in a park at 8 a.m. on a Saturday and someone else is too, you can probably tell quite a lot about the way they didn't go out last night, unless they're hanging. They didn't go out last night.
Yeah.
They probably care about their health. They're probably quite reliable. They've probably got a relatively normal job. That's pre-selection.
Yeah. And I find so many people are just getting over the drinking culture and not wanting to just meet people at bars or hang out at bars. Or if we stand around in a park after work, then the expectation is usually, okay, like there's drinking involved or there's something to eat or drink. And that's not necessary to meet people. And I think a lot of people, 1, want to get off the apps, and then 2, don't want to be drinking. So things like run clubs or pickleball or rock climbing are great places to meet people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do a run club.
CrossFit, for me, when I started doing CrossFit, was outrageous for dating.
Really?
Just because it's all co-ed.
Yeah.
A lot of the people, especially as dudes, a lot of the dudes that do CrossFit are already married because it does take quite a lot of dedication, and it's kind of hard, and it's the sort of thing that a man who feels like he's given up all of his pursuits in other areas of life would decide to apply himself to. Yeah, for 1 hour a day, I can regain some control when I don't have to change nappies or you deal with shit from work or, take the bins out. So you actually have, although it's still probably about 50-50, maybe sex ratio, maybe a tiny little bit more skewed male. But when you actually look at the sort of men that go and the sort of women that go, I think that you have more unavailable men than you do unavailable women. And this means that it was an incredibly profitable few years when I was doing CrossFit in the northeast of the UK. Plus, there's this sort of inherent like high five culture at the end of workouts. There's intermissions in between different things. There's usually some dicking about at the start. There's some waiting around at the end. You are training between 2 and 5 times a week doing classes, so the consistency that you see people with, you don't have to wait 1 whole week until Run Club comes back around again.
Yeah, I love all of those points. And even something that gets you touching somebody, like a fist bump or a high five, actually goes a really long way, to your point. Another one I love that is so good is dancing. Salsa
Just like I mentioned,
two-step,
dancing.
swing, whatever kind of dance you're interested in. Any of my clients who pick up dance are like, whoa,
Yeah.
talk about a good market. And like, if you're authentically into it and you're fun to dance with, even if you're a total beginner and you're a single nice guy, the girls are gonna be into it. Like, there are way less men than women dancing, and women want to dance with the fun single guys. So if you can be that guy in your dance group, you're golden.
In other news, this episode
Yeah,
is brought to
so-
you by Manscaped.
I knew that was a good idea, dancing. That's definitely something I'm going to try out. Are men struggling with loneliness? Let's take a look at this one.
A lot on the show over the last few years has been about the sort of loneliness epidemic of
Because this is
men.
definitely
Obviously,
me.
you're dealing with men who are struggling in dating. You've done some research on this. There's a lot of talk about the perils of men and the challenge of modern masculinity and how men are falling behind. And, you know, I've been one of the people that's pushed this. But from your experience, from your research, how much are men struggling with loneliness at the moment? What did the data say?
So there is absolutely a large subset of men struggling with loneliness. What I have actually found, though, is it's not all men. It is certain men in a certain group. And actually the type of men, because I did this research like 2 years ago, and I have noticed over the years that actually the type of man who works with me isn't necessarily from that lonely bucket. The type of man who comes to a woman and is seeking help in his dating life often has a very robust life outside of dating. A lot of people assume like, oh, they hired someone who hires a dating coach, he must be like a real loser, and that is absolutely not the case. Most of my clients are successful professionals, have robust social lives, hobbies, lots of friends, family that they are engaged with. They aren't the ones who aren't seeing any friends and family for a month at a time. And it's just their dating life that they're confused about, and they want to level up and match where the rest of their life already is. I would say for men who are really struggling with loneliness and making friends and leaving their house, that is something that needs to be addressed first and separately than thinking about how am I going to get a woman to join me, because no woman is going to want to join you on your lonely couch where you never leave 6 nights a week.
So the journey of getting into a relationship begins with getting some friends.
Yes. Your dating life is going to be infinitely easier once you have a social circle and a community that you are actively engaged in.
That's the challenge right there. I need to find a community and friends, and then my dating life might become easier. Maybe that's the mistake I've been making. Yeah, that's a big one. Good advice, Blaine. But that's honestly one of the bigger struggles that I'm having. Is, you know, moving into a new city. I've only been here for 3 or 4 months now, and I've made a few friends, but not an actual circle of friends, not a group that I can like consistently go hang out with. Something that I want to change, something that I'm actively trying to change. So maybe like go into this Arsenal bar, you know, I'll meet, because I love football, love Arsenal. So maybe these are like some like-minded people that I can actually meet up with. I do want to try the dancing. That maybe who knows, you know. But once again, not doing a run club. Hate running. Fuck that. I'm not gonna run, meet someone, then stop running. No, that's just no, not for me. So good advice. I don't know why all of a sudden run clubs are like the most in thing. But hey, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing out on some things. But I just wanted to touch and share on this video. She made some good points. She made some bad points. But for the things that she has said definitely have helped me out a little bit. I wish I was better, but I guess I'm gonna leave it there. If you like or you want me to keep doing some more reaction videos to like certain dating things or men's health things or any videos that like, you know, Chris Williamson does or any of these kind of things, I'm going to just continue doing it anyway, and see where I can get with this. Maybe build a little community online. I think that'd be really cool. Let's just get better together. You know, if there's no way some of you guys are out there are as lonely as I am right now. I got my two best friends right behind me. Yeah, I know that you can see them. And they're all I need right now. So hopefully things get better. Things get better for me, and I hope things get better for you. Because trust me when I tell you this, you're not alone. Trust me, you're not alone in this, because I'm in the same boat as a lot of you guys out there. I'm not a high status male. I'm not rich. I don't have good looks. I'm not physically chiseled like Henry Cavill. But I do believe that we can get better together. So until next time, I'll try to upload a video tomorrow, next few days. I really look forward to maybe hearing from some of your comments. Like, subscribe if you want. And I hope you have a great evening. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.